Hello, dudes and dudettes. Give me a second, and welcome to the most boring stream I will ever do in my life. I can almost guarantee that. Hello, Fun Bun. Let me flip over the screen. Welcome to obnoxiousness. I didn't have anything planned today. I actually need to take that off. I didn't have anything planned today, and I figured, why not? I'm just gonna start modeling. I'll probably only stream for about an hour today. I just didn't want to lose the streak, and I felt like if I abandoned the stream today, it just sucked. It would suck. I don't want to do that. So today I'm gonna do a little bit of modeling on stream, kind of show you how I use 3D SketchUp, and if that's interesting to you, hang around. If you want to talk, that's cool too. If not, then maybe tomorrow I'll be back at games. I think we're gonna start off with this because I have this set up as the grasshopper. Actually, you know what? Before I start immediately modeling, let me get an image of the grasshopper popped up so that I can kind of show you all what I'm doing. So let me go to image, let me go add existing. Where is the grasshopper? I hope I didn't delete that. It looks like I did. Okay, cool. Grasshopper. And then let me add this image in. It's gonna be weird. What am I making? I am making pieces to a rocket today. Hello, Janessa. 650 subs, very cool indeed. Hello, Buckwild. Wow, everyone's here. I apologize. Tonight's gonna suck. The stream tonight is gonna be terrible. I think it's in downloads. Let me see if I can find this. Oh, no, it's not in downloads. It's in... I know exactly where I put this thing. Thumbnails... KOS rockets, and that's good enough. Okay, so unfortunately I can't do much zooming here. I'm gonna have to get a couple of images, actually. Okay, so let me work on this. Let me get a secondary grasshopper image. Grasshopper 2, and this one I'm gonna have to go actually rip off the internet somewhere, so... Watch this be my most popular video. I hope not. I really hope not. Give me just a second. I will have to... actually, you know what? If I minimize this, does it let me... Yes. Okay, cool. OBS has a weird thing. Like, if I click off of the window, the Google SketchUp that you're seeing, it freaks out, and it'll normally show... I can even show you right there. You saw that flash? If I don't minimize it, it will show you what I'm doing. And even though there's nothing weird that I'm doing, it's just, yeah, that's not what I'd prefer. Who knows, maybe you'd see my desktop that has absolutely nothing on it. What was the grasshopper image? I had this grasshopper image I found not that long. Oh, no, it wasn't an image. It was, okay, that's going to be hard. SpaceX, I think it was a video that I was looking at. No, it wasn't. Found it. Okay, good. Whew. I was about to freak out a little bit. Let me grab this image. Save image as... sure, let's just save it as that. I don't really care. Go back to SketchUp and pop up this grasshopper number 2 so I can actually show you what it looks like. Use KSP SpaceX. Doesn't look like it's saved. Oh, it might have saved to KSP in real life. Let me double check that. Desktop, KSP IRL. Nope. Where the fuck did that thing just save? Well, that's cool. It's usually not what I was expecting. Open, show in folder. Rockets. Oh, I put it in the rocket science folder, not the KSP folder. Got it. I'll pop it up. I apologize. This is going to take me a second because I didn't have these thumbnails ready. I've been running around like a chicken with my head cut off all day. I've been doing shit for my neighbors, doing stuff around the house, cleaning the turtle tank, doing stuff on my car. I literally just sat down about an hour ago. And then I had the first thing to eat about an hour ago today, too. So I'm a little scatterbrained. You're going to have to bear with me here. Thumbnails, go to rocket science. Where, there you are. This, bam, took me long enough to get it popped up. This is what I'm working on right now. It kind of starts to look like something, right? I can put this down here or something, like, maybe up into the corner. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Oh my god. OBS, stop glitching. There we go. There we go. So that's what I'm kind of working on right now. theoretically that'll help. What am I modeling? Hello, Bryce. I am modeling a 6.5 foot tall version of the grasshopper, aka this thing. I've already got parts of it printing right now behind me on the 3D printer. If I had a USB extender long enough, I could probably throw a camera over there for you guys to see it, but unfortunately I can't. So this right here is what I've been working on. This is the bottom portion. That guy would be like right here in between these two or something like that. So I'm trying, but we have to figure it out. So these things, let's, since they're individual components, let's just delete them, and I have a fourth one over here. Let's move it over, just like so. It doesn't really matter where I place it, and then I want to get this thing moved out as well. Can I lock it to red? There we go. So this is where we're having a problem. I can 3D print the shells, no problem. Like, this is part of the shell right here. I can 3D print these things very easily. That's no problem at all. However, this is another matter entirely. There are so many overhangs. Like, I'd be able to go from... let me see if I can do this for you. I could probably print all of that without it having a problem, but the moment that I got to that level, it would start to freak out because it can't do overhangs. So what we're going to do tonight is start to mess with this and put it in groups. We're going to make it where I can actually 3D print this thing. So this I'm going to put in a group, make group, and then I'm going to bring it down. Like so. Those are interesting squares. Where did those squares come from? Oh, I can actually delete those. Okay, good. I don't need those there. Let's get all of those. And I have Approaching Nirvana playing tonight. Hopefully that doesn't, you know, get me pegged with 100 copyright strikes like it did last night. I got 44 copyright strikes last night. What the fuck? Like, that's insane. Oh well. No Starman, but Kerbals, yes. You wish you were good at... download SketchUp. Download SketchUp, Williv. It's free, and I can guarantee you'd be able to figure it out just as well as I can. Alright, so these... I like the way they're set up, but we're going to have to make these solid. So let's... First things first, why didn't it make that solid? Interesting, so these are not squared together. Maybe I'll just... That's very strange that that's not acting as a solid piece. Let me see if I can... There we go. Now it's acting as a solid piece. I don't know why that was like that. Reverse faces. We need to turn these into solid blocks because we're going to want it to print all of this at once. We're going to then probably turn this into 3 different pieces. Like this. Let me reselect that because, oops, still didn't select it right. There we go. So we'd want to have that turned into a group on its own as well. Move that up. There we go. So these 3 pieces I'll be printing individually. They should be very easy to do, and I was thinking that I could probably use small plastic dowel rods in there to glue them together, and it wouldn't be a problem. It's going to be pretty damn stiff. Man, I wish the stream would load. Well, hello, Moon Tori. Welcome to a very, very, very slow stream, and I apologize in advance. I'm going to be apologizing to everyone, because tonight is going to suck. Just to clarify. Just to be perfectly... Oh, that's... I'm an idiot. That's why it didn't connect. I wasn't in the group. Okay, so let's get in here. Actually, first, let's unclick that, click that, delete that, jump inside this group, and now put it together. I was wondering why that wasn't working right. There we go. Now I can take this and delete the line, and we'll just make these solid posts. The moment you put it solid like that, they look hollow, but the printer will treat these like solid objects, and it's going to infill it with about 25%. Because we do need some strength. I could go higher than that, but honestly, the amount of plastic and everything else, I can't do it. Right now I'm looking at every part that I'm gonna print is gonna take about a pound of plastic, which is gonna be a little ridiculous. Reverse faces. Right here. Grab these. This takes a little bit of time, and I do apologize. I can't really make this faster because I split this object. It was being treated as a single object, and now it didn't know what the hell I wanted it to do. Let's reverse that face. Make sure it doesn't cause any weird printer issues. Like so, and we're over halfway done. Sweet. There's not much that we have to do to this one to get it where it's printable. I'm still going to need to edit a lot of stuff on this if I'm being perfectly honest. I'm going to have to figure out where I'm going to put my thrust vectoring. I'm going to have to figure out where a lot of shit goes if I'm being brutally honest. This is going to be a very long ordeal. Ooh. Oh, I'm not in the group anymore. Control Z. I accidentally clicked off of it. I knew there was something going on there. Hello, Jack. You really hope that KSP crash that just happened didn't make you lose the rocket? I hope so, too. You've been working on that rocket pretty much all night. Get that, get these, and last one! Thank goodness. Does take a little bit of time, but it's okay. Reverse faces, and that's it on that one. Okay, so there are some holes we're gonna have to fill in with this piece. Oh, and I didn't actually turn that into a group yet. Okay, so let me do that. I want you to be your own group. And now let's get in here and edit this thing. It does not like me right now. Oh, are they? Actually, those are just reversed. I thought they were inaccurate. Well, good. That makes it easier on us. Reverse faces. Those lines really don't matter. Like, we could delete them and it would do absolutely nothing. Having them there changes nothing, and taking them away changes nothing. So the vast majority of the time, I just leave those lines. It's not going to act as like a segment or something in the 3D print. It's just going to act as a solid object. Let's take these and these and just go through and do it on all of them. Really, it's just my OCD for the most part. It's like I can't stand all the lines. Though we could soften and smooth it all to make it go away a lot easier. All bueno, and like so. I wonder if I could just soften smooth. Does that get rid of all my lines? Damn, it doesn't. I was hoping it would have made them invisible, but it didn't look like it wanted to do that. Oh well, solid object it is. Now, we have to start working on this one. Clearly we don't want those. You still dry stoned? Indeed, Buckwild. That's why I'm doing this tonight, because I just didn't feel like playing any games. I really wanted to get stuff done on this, but I had no idea what I wanted to do today. You know, we could actually make the pegs... No, I don't want to do that. I think I would want a more structurally secure peg. I was thinking we could 3D print the pegs, like the dowels that are going to interconnect these pieces. But if we do that, it might end up being a hassle. Because they'd be 3D printed vertically, and it would mean that they would have very little lateral strength. You'd be able to pull them apart easily, or at least break them apart easily. Yep, indeed a spammer. What's a good simple example of recursive function? I was thinking it might be a factorial function, a Fibonacci sequence for the lesson. I guess? I don't know. So what is the project I'm working on? Moon Tory. We are actually starting on Kerbal Space Program in real life. Now, this doesn't look like it anymore, but this is part of the bottom of the grasshopper. This thingy. And in the top right of the screen. I'm trying to get all the parts for it. Right now, the 3D printer is actively working on these things. Can I? Yes. It's actively working on these right now, and each one of these segments is going to take approximately 2 days, 11 hours to print. So, it's going to take a while, if I'm being perfectly frank. It's probably going to be by the end of the week. Maybe I'll have a teaser trailer up or something about this Kerbal Space Program in real life, but yeah, it's going to be a while. Let's see here. What else? Oh, I was working on the top one. No, I already filled that in, it looks like. Well then, let's add the holes, because we do still need the dowel holes. That's gonna be an interesting problem. I didn't even realize that. So, this is gonna 3D print just fine. But I don't think it's gonna work the way I want it to. What we may have to do is actually change this up a bit and bring these down. Like, if I grab this and I move it, I hope it'll actually move without freaking the fuck out. Nope, it does not. Crapper. Shit. So we're gonna have to figure out a way to bring those down. I mean, it's not hard. I could simply delete the line and move it. I wonder if there's a better way of doing that, or if I should leave them like that. Because they're gonna lose all their structural support if I don't have these things actively pegged in somehow. And I don't know how I would peg them if there's already a peg in the bottom. Maybe what I could do is have the peg run all the way through. No, that wouldn't work either, because you'd have to have the peg there too. Damn! How am I gonna get that to work? You're looking forward to watching the progress? Well, cool, thank you for that. Though it will take a long time. Let's see here. I'm trying to be as accurate to the image as possible, and that's what's causing me a problem. Because they use, obviously, it's like 4 or 5 inch square bar, and it's a hollow square bar, it's square tubing, but I'm not able to weld my pieces together. I could theoretically use like plastic weld and stuff like that. Maybe I can just drill in from the back. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Rather than editing it, I think what I'll do is grab a hole. Let's, this is gonna be interesting to see if I can do this without it freaking out. Let's find the exact center real quick. Let's make a small circle, and I guess we'll... These are 1/2 inch, so let's do 1/8 inch dowels. Oops, that was a 1/4 inch. 1/16th radius equals 1/8 inch diameter. Okay, now let's take our push-pull tool and see if I can... I can, but it doesn't work the way I wanted it to. I wonder if I then take this and go like that. Does it work the way I want it to, or does it freak out? No, it doesn't work the way I want it to. Okay, so that's going to be an issue. Instead of making those holes, I think I might just drill them afterwards, because that, if I control Y, like, I can do it. That's not the problem. I can even run in here and... Like, I'd have to make a perfect circle along that plane right here. I just have to line out the plane and then segment it out. But that'd be such a pain in the ass, it's not worth the time. I can literally take a drill bit to it in real life in 5 seconds. So I think I'm gonna call it quits on that, but I am gonna put the holes in the center of these posts. Because we do want to have the dowel going down. How big are we going to want these holes to be? Well, obviously the 1/16th. And then how deep do we want it to be? Probably about a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch. 1/4 inch deep and then 1/2 inch in total. That would work pretty damn good. Maybe. It might cause a problem, but we'll work with it. 1/4 inch, 1/4. And let's, yep, that hole looks good. A real-life rocket made by a stoner, indeed. Indeed, most of the stuff you see here will be used. In fact, I'm already printing one of the parts. Not this part, because I'm not done with it. I'm not stupid enough to start printing parts before they're done. This one I probably won't print for a while, because I'm going to have to get our landing leg struts on here. I'm going to have to get our holders for our thrust vectoring plates, which will probably go on the bottom here somewhere. I'm going to have to figure out a holder for where our motors that control our thrust vectoring plates go, though I have a feeling they're going to go inside this little hole right here. Like, they would push and pull against the paddle that would be on this. So we'll see. It's definitely going to be an interesting ordeal. Okay, let's start. This should be easy, putting in the 4 holes and the 4 holes on the top and bottom. This stuff I do need to get done, but I don't know how much we're actually going to accomplish tonight. 1/16 is hard as hell to get my hand in between the keyboard and the fucking microphone. There we go, push, pull. Doesn't like me. Oh, am I not clicked on the... No, why is it not letting me grab that? That's strange. There we go. That was very strange. /quarter. It had a selected object already, and it would refuse to select a new one. Very weird. Run on over here. Let's see. Once again, the exact same shit. Grab another hole. And is that already up to 16th? I believe it is. What do you know? It's like it knew what I wanted, and then push down to 1/4. No, it doesn't like me doing that. Man, I haven't listened to Approaching Nirvana in so long. It's really good music, but it's overplayed on YouTube, if I'm being honest. There's another 625. And bring this down by 1/4. How long am I planning on streaming tonight? I honestly don't know. My phone is going to be going fucking obnoxious this whole stream. Because Discord is a piece of shit. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm going to want the dowels on these as well. So let's quickly run through there. I'm just doing this all. This is what was taking me so long the other night. I spent 4 or 5 hours working on this stuff. The main problem is when we're going to get to the turbojet, because the grasshopper I'm building is going to run off of good job. It's going to run off of a electrically driven turbine, which may or may not produce enough thrust, because this thing is probably going to be 20 to 30 pounds. So I don't think it's going to produce enough thrust. If it doesn't, we're going to have to edit the center core to have some form of pressure. It's not combustion, because this is all 3D parts. Good job. I hope they're 3D parts. They're all 3D printed, so I don't really think I can do anything with actual fuel in this jet engine. But I should... It doesn't like me for some reason. I should be able to possibly take something like liquid nitrogen, run it through a preheater core, and then inject that preheated gas into the combustion quote-unquote chamber of this jet engine. And when you do that, it would theoretically have a high enough pressure to produce the positive feedback loop that a jet engine does. But I don't know. Like, that's gonna be some iffy shit. I can't build a fucking liquid-fueled rocket like SpaceX. I'm putting maybe $500 to $1,000 into this every month. There's no way in hell I can do that. Unless suddenly I have like 1 million subscribers and I'm making $4 grand per video, and that's never gonna happen. 1/16. I keep forgetting what I'm doing, which is why I keep taking so long. 1/4. We'll look into it. I've been doing a lot of research on jet engines, specifically turbojets, how the guide fins work, how the stator fins work, how everything works. I had a design for a jet engine in high school, and it was an electrically driven jet engine, but if I'm being perfectly blunt, I only had about half of what I understood into the engine. Like, I'm an idiot. I don't have an engineering degree, I don't have anything. I'm a stoner that's going to be building a rocket, so you're going to have to bear with me. I'm going to make a lot of stupid mistakes. I'm going to make a lot of stupid progress. Like, I'll end up making a jet engine that's probably useless until I add some form of compression to it. Who knows? We'll see. It's going to be an adventure, and definitely a fun hobby, to say the least. Will be the next PewDiePie? I fucking hope not. I hope I always stay the person I am, rather than going crazy and bonkers like that. Alright, let's get rid of those guides, because it's starting to drive me crazy. There we go. Now, do I have holes in all of these? It looks like I do. Then let's just leave them there. Oh. You know, let me put the holes here, but not all the way through, so that I'm able to pre-drill them later and I don't have to worry about centering the holes. Because it won't take that much extra time, and it will help me out a lot. Why the fuck does this thing not want to work? Give me my ruler. There we go. Sometimes whenever you have a part selected, Google SketchUp acts very strange. Let's put this hole here, and then let's make it however deep. That's the 16th, yes. It doesn't really need to be... God damn it. Google, stop it! 1/4. Is it gonna work? Nope, that comes out the back. Okay, so let's put it 1/8. That looks good enough for me. I'll drill the rest out of that later. And then I need to copy that hole and put it... I wonder... This may not work, but I'm gonna try it. If I take this... actually, I'm gonna have to select more than just that. Let me... Those... Let's grab a rotate tool. I wonder if I can do this. I bet it's gonna act really weird, but it's gonna be interesting to say the least. Hold shift. It does not want to work with me. Okay, now let's do Alt 90 degrees. Now, how did that work? Did it? Aha! So I can copy and paste those. Good. I didn't know if I was going to be able to do that. Google SketchUp is amazing. I love Google SketchUp. I've used it for years. And it's after you figure it out, I mean, it's insanely fun. Why is that Oh, it's rotating along the wrong point. Got it. I was like, what the fuck is that rotating there? No. Please give me center. Why do you do this? There we go. 90 degrees. Oh, man, I didn't realize that they were barely poking out. Well, shit. Now I'm going to have to Control Z that. Alright, and let's put it like a 1/16 of an inch. It doesn't really matter. It's just so that I can drill this hole easier. There we go. 1, 2, and then... So Netflix is making a reboot of a reboot, and it's about teens going into the computer? Interesting. In your experience, 3D printed pins and holes aren't all that compatible without a pretty good offset? You have no idea how SketchUp works? It's really easy. It works really well. I apologize, Timber Bunny, though I am a little bit of an idiot today. I didn't understand what you were talking about. Constrain to that line, and then constrain it to... damn it. That point. Thank you. Click. Push Alt so I can duplicate it, and 90 degrees. Bam! Cool. It is actually faster to do this. It just takes me a while to figure out how the fuck to do it. I am not the most efficient person at 3D modeling. I don't do this very often. In fact, the last time I did this is when I had my other 3D printer, which was, like 3 years ago. So, bear with me. If I make stupid mistakes today, it's just gonna happen. Why is that? Oh. Very confusing there. I was like, why is that on the other side of the place? Okay, got the holes, got the holes, got the holes. Sweet. Now, all of those should be ready, and I can pre-drill those, or drill them out once they're actually printed. Those are just to help me make sure that they're centered. All good there. So that part is done for the moment. We still need to put, like, motor mounts on it. We still need to put our thrust vectoring mounts on it. We need to put our thrust vectoring plates themselves on there. We have to put our landing legs plates on there. We have to do a lot more, but I think I'm good with that. Let's then move on. Oh, shit. This is gonna be fun. Okay. So how do I want to do this? Oh, hey, those lines are actually going to come in handy. Whew, good. I was about to say, that's going to be a pain in the ass for me to get those lined up. Not anymore if they have those freaking lines all over the place. Sweet. Let me grab another hole. I think that's the end point. And from like there and there. Now let's make that about yay big. And 1/4 inch up. Use SolidWorks, which is pretty, which is great till you look at the price tag and go, oh, fuck no. Yep. SketchUp is free. Right now I'm using a trial version of it. I'm using the Pro version because you need to be able to export your models to OBJs and STLs and all that stuff for the 3D printer. But other than that, I love SketchUp. I've used it so much. I've used it for game modeling, 3D modeling, just random ideas I've had. I even used it for my YouTube channel, like my background on my YouTube channel, the like computer with the poster on the wall and all that shit, that's in SketchUp. That's a legitimate model. I didn't know how to make a 2D image in Photoshop that looked realistic with perspective, so I just did a legit 3D model. 1/4. And keep on rotating around. We won't have to do the same holes on the top where I would just push these all the way through. End point. And there we go. 625. Toss this on like so. 1/4. You gave up on TV series a long time ago? Yeah, I stopped watching TV. In fact, the only time I turned on my TV in the past 1.5 years for an actual TV was at the Super Bowl. And I didn't even know it was the Super Bowl until my friend came over and goes, why aren't you watching the Super Bowl? It's like, oh, oops. That's about how in-depth I am. 1/4. Oh, I guess I could rotate these around too, couldn't I? I could have... Ah, interesting. Let's see if I can do that real quick. I mean, worst case scenario, it makes it easier. We're going to want to look up into that hole because I have to grab all objects from it. Grab the back and grab the sides. Sweet. Now let's see if I can rotate this thing. Okay, so constrained to this... Oops. There we go. Constrained to that point, constrained to that point, and let's rotate this beach. Duplicate it, and 90 degrees. What do you know? Just like that. Constrained to point. I love the shift key. It is like a freaking genius. It knows exactly what I want all the time. There we go. That's rotated. Now let's rotate the holes. In fact, I could probably grab both of them at the same time, if I'm being honest. Zoom out. Run over here. Zoom in. And whoops. That's a problem. If you click on empty space rather than on your object, it goes a little insane. But hey, everyone's a little bit insane. Rotate. I mean, hell, I'm a stoner about to build a fucking rocket. Shit. Alright, there we go. Constrained to green, constrained to that. Now let's 90 degree this. I have 3 objects grabbed. I didn't realize that. My bad. Let me go deselect this object. Did work, but it was my bad. Run on in, rotate again. That's blue. I'm gonna want to angle a little bit so green is easier to grab. And now we do our rotate. I still have 3 objects. Why do I have 3 objects selected still? Where is that 3rd object coming from? Weird. Okay, fuck that. I'm just gonna deselect. I don't know where that object was coming from, but I don't want to keep dealing with it. I think it was the inside shaft. Yeah, not dealing with it right now. Run over here. It's much easier just to re-grab. God damn. I keep not clicking on the object. There we go. Now, rotate them. After that obnoxiousness. There we go. Constrain it to green, constrain it to red, and now will it rotate? Aha! Took it long enough. 180 got them both. At that fucking point, I could have just manually put the holes there. Okay, so this looks like I have to... Oh, what the fuck? It's not acting as a... Hold on. Intersect faces with context. I could have sworn there's a way to fix this. With model, there's no I can guarantee there's an intersection there. What the hell are you talking about? I can see it. Weird. Line center, no. Intersect. With contact. There we go. Okay, I was very confused there. I was like, why in the hell is that not letting me delete that? It's because it didn't actually intersect it with the object. That's a weird issue. It should have definitely done that. Let me double click on it and then intersect faces with context. Bam. That was very weird. Those do still have the bottoms of the holes, right? Yeah, they do. Weird. Okay. Make sure all the rest are still working. Yeah, that's a hole. That's a hole. That's still a hole. Oh, what the hell? There we go. That's still a hole. Interesting. Yep, it's all working now. Weird. Okay, now. Does SketchUp not have a history list? What? You used to have VRML software package called Spaz 3D. It was super fun and everything just worked. Cool. Like I said, I've only ever used SketchUp. I am so out of it. I'm an idiot when it comes to 3D modeling software. I tried Blender at one point. I just didn't like it. What was the other ones I used? I just ended up on SketchUp because it's so easy. Like, it's so intuitive. There's, like, you can see every tool in this thing, and you can do whatever the hell you want with it. And you'll notice it's like, oh, you can make circles and squares. How do you make a sphere? That's where you get some fun in this. Let's see here. Should we... No, I guess just keep going. Let's add all of the dowel points here. This one, once again, we might be able to copy and paste. Oh, I'm gonna have to select the object first. Jump into that group. Otherwise, I would have just been putting stuff on top of it. Okay, so where each one of these is... Such a pain in the butt. Where each one of these little squares are, we need to have a hole. So let's do 2 holes right here. Exactly like so. And then let's bring this down 1/4 inch, 1/4. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm gonna want to delete that line in the center because it's only gonna take half of that. Oh my god, it's so hard to click on the tiny ass object. There we go. Now let's bring those down by 1/4 inch, 1/4. 1/4, and then we will duplicate them, hopefully. Oh, bueno. Like I said, those extra lines don't really matter. We could always soften, smooth them out, or just delete them or hide them, but yeah, they really don't matter. Okay, let's see if we can do our nice little rotation thingy with these and it not fuck up like it was last time, because it didn't seem to like me last time. It looks like it's not going to like it again. I'll have to intersect them with their faces. Yeah, that sucks. I'm going to just keep going. I figure, why not? I'll have to just fix it. It's either doing them all manually or doing them all this way and then fixing them manually. Either way, it doesn't really matter. 90 degrees. Get it constrained once more. Alt and like so. Run on down here. Oh, hey, actually it worked. Nice! That's what I wanted. It's very easy to just delete lines. All bueno. And all bueno. We got our dowel holes in that piece. Now, those two pieces are entirely connectable. Indeed, I did a test print yesterday. Actually, I have another part going right now, Tori. I can even show you the part. Let me get out. I have one of these being printed right now. Granted, it's not as tall as these are. It's only about 3.5 inches tall rather than 8 inches tall, but I have one of these test printing right now. And it looks damn good. I mean, I love this new printer compared to my old one. I had a 3D printer 3 years ago, and it sucked. Oh my god, it was so bad compared to this one. Okay, so now we just need those holes in our top piece, which shouldn't take long at all. Let's flip us. Look to the sky! Okay. Holes. And theoretically, we'll be able to do the same thing, 1/16. And I'll just... There we go. Delete the line, because it's always fun. And bring them down. 1/4. I apologize if I miss comments. I am trying to read them, but at the same time, I'm trying to be productive, which is very hard to do it both at the same time. I doubt I'll start working on the stator fins and all of that tonight, like the actual turbojet, because it's too much math, and it's me being too quiet. I don't think I can physically talk and keep everything straight in my head. It is not easy to build a jet engine. Go figure. And I basically have to recreate the wheel to make a plastic one work. But something that gives me some hope. I found a jet engine, an RC jet engine for model enthusiasts, and it's a 26-gram RC engine, jet engine, that looks almost like the size of a fat soda can. It's only 26 grams, so it weighs less than 1/16 of a pound, and it produces 50 pounds worth of thrust. So if I can even get 10% of that, I would be really fucking happy. Granted, that means we'd have to have some form of compression, like I was talking about earlier. The jet engine we have, we can't use combustion. We physically can't. It's just gonna melt it. There's no high temperature plastic with my 3D printer that would work like that. However, we can use compressed liquid gas, and preheat it in a heater core. Oh, that was bad. Preheat it in a heater core and then inject that into the quote-unquote combustion chamber, and it will work just as well. But that's size and a lot of other shit problems that I might have to deal with. Let's get rid of those guides, because my god, are they annoying. Sweet, so now all of those parts are officially good. I can 3D print those and put them together. Not that I am going to. The power to weight ratio. I know, Timber Bunny, it's insane. Am I gonna have to print the this piece upside down? You mean this one, the one on top? I am indeed. I'm gonna have to print this one in its current orientation. This one doesn't really matter. I might want to print that vertically because of those holes. You don't want to have overhangs. Oh, I can't print it vertically. Ooh. That's going to be interesting. I'll have to look into that because it's going to act a little funky. But I'm pretty sure the printer can deal with a 1/8 inch overhang just fine. I don't think it's going to glitch out too bad. That's not like a 2-inch stretch or something that bead of plastic would be trying to go across. The tops of these holes, the tops of these holes specifically right here may be a little ragged, but I'll just have to run a drill bit into them to get them fine. This piece, and this is the one I assume you're talking about, Buckwild, I will indeed have to print upside down because there's just no way I can get that to work. But I'm looking at making a rocket that's going to be probably 20, 30, maybe even 40 pounds at max. And that's heavy. That's like... that's heavier than anything I would have ever expected to make at the first try. But if that's still under the amount of weight that we could run that tiny jet engine off of, granted I would never be able to buy that little jet engine, but if that gives me hope, like, I'll just summarize it that way. That really gives me hope that if I have a 30-pound rocket, we can probably get it off the ground somehow. If there's a 26-gram jet engine that produces 50 pounds of thrust. Any specs on the electric consumption for the RC engine? Honestly, I don't know yet, Moontory, because it's gonna be really high torque. We're basically just gonna have a RC model airplane motor or some fast-moving motor attached to this turbine shaft and see if we can run purely off of an electrically driven turbine. If we can, though technically it's not a jet engine, if we can, I would be happy with leaving it there. I have a feeling that's not going to work. I have a feeling we're not going to produce 20, 30 pounds of thrust with just a single motor. Even if we have giant fan blades, I don't think we're going to do that. However, once we start adding things like the heater core and compression and everything else, it's entirely possible. And these things that are on the bottom of the SpaceX Grasshopper, they're just gonna be for show at first, but if we have to start going into a like liquid nitrogen or anything that I have to have liquid gas that I preheat back into gaseous state to inject, we'll probably turn these into real canisters rather than just a model and extra weight on the bottom for stability. It's gonna be up and down. Like, I have no idea how exactly this is gonna work. If I knew that, I'd be a fucking genius, and I'm not. I'm an idiot. I'm a stoner that's gonna try to make a rocket that hopefully gets off the ground. Yeah, it's impossible to make an RC one that gets into orbit. I'll be able to get into space. That's what my goal is eventually, in probably like 6 months, to be in space. Like, to get images, a camera, whatever. If I'm being blunt, I want to put one of those 360 cameras on top of this rocket and send it into space, because I think that'd be fucking awesome. If you had a 360 video and you were able to look around in the atmosphere as you were hurtling through it, that would be freaking cool. That's my goal. And it seems ridiculous, but then you look at it, and people have gotten into space with a fucking $50 weather balloon, an icebox, an Arduino, and a GoPro. It's not hard. However, I made it a lot harder on myself by trying to do it with legitimate engines. Now, you might notice, or at least the observant among you might notice, that jet engines don't work in space. In fact, they don't even work higher than like 85,000 feet. So we might have an issue with that. The Grasshopper is going to run off a jet engine, but it's not intending to go out of the atmosphere. For our Falcon 9 knockoff and our Falcon Not Heavy knockoff, whatever the fuck we're going to call them, those I'm going to have to put some form of solid fuel into, and I don't know how we're going to do that. I'm probably going to have to build my own, because I don't know if there's model rockets. Like, I know you can buy P-band rockets and solid rocket boosters and all of that stuff for model rockets, but it's expensive as hell. And I think it'd be easier if I created my own rocket, and that sounds stupid, but people make sugar rockets and wax kerosene rockets, and people are making hybrid rocket engines all over YouTube. I just need to figure out the way to do it. I've never done that before. I'm trying my best to do most of this on my own, but I do need to research, for instance, jet engines to know exactly, like, compressor stall and whenever you're having issues. But all of these things that I had to learn to make sure that this will hopefully work. If you have an RC rocket that gets into orbit, that's called a rocket. Indeed. That's very, very true, Timber Bunny. I'm glad you caught that. Okay, what should we start working on now? We could start working on the landing leg stuff. Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna do that. Okay, let's put all these parts back together. Let's grab you, take you down to that. Let's grab you, and oops, and take you down to that. Sweet. Now those aren't, it looks like it's still one solid part, but now I can go into it and manually select. And if I wanted to print these individually, I could click on it, make component, and right like that, I could print the part. It's pretty damn easy. So, what are we gonna do now? How are we gonna get this thing working? I don't think I'm gonna work on the thrust vectoring paddles tonight. Actually, you know what? That might be more interesting than working on the landing gear. Let's see here. How would I want to do thrust vectoring? I probably want to have some form of attachment to these, but I don't... I'm talking to myself. I think I know what I'm going to do. This is going to look stupid, but I have to do it to explain it to you guys before I am an idiot. So I'm going to put a curve like this here. And we're going to make little plates. Let's say if I do that one, I'm going to delete this in just a second, but let's say if I do something like oops, that's the wrong line. Thank you. I do something like that, and then I do some, hold on, let me put a hole in there. It doesn't want to do so. Stop being a pain in the butt. Alright, let me just put a small hole. Regardless, it doesn't matter what it looks like, because this isn't going to be the real thing. Put this like so, delete, and then extrude this part by about 1/4 of an inch, 1/4. Okay, so we're going to have a bracket like that. If we have brackets like so, and then if I have 2 of these, I shouldn't have done that right there. If I have 2 of these, and then I have a plate going down, I'd have to push these out further. I have a plate going down this way. I should be able to make that work. Okay, cool. Let me Control Z and do this. This is going to be interesting. What we could do is have the plates there, and then I'll show you where I'm going to put the motor later, because we want to have gimbal in both directions. We want to move, let me get a pin so you can see my stuff. We want to go that way, and we want to go that way, with this one in particular. So we're gonna want to have some form of motor probably connected over here to literally connect to this plate and be able to push it in and out to create a vector. I may have to end up putting a air funnel or something to make sure that the air doesn't escape through the sideways, though it shouldn't. It would be through the path of the least resistance, and that would be the open hole in the bottom, so I think we're fine. Maybe some solid boosters for that final stretch, or would that not be viable? That's exactly what I was going to do, Tori. I'm going to have to put some form of solid booster on the final stretch. If I'm being honest, once we get over 30,000, 40,000 feet, we're losing atmospheric drag, so we're not going to have a problem with overheating or trying to push motors too fast. We can pull pretty much as much G-force as we want as long as it doesn't explode the craft. So if I could have a nice solid rocket booster that runs for maybe 30 seconds to a minute and gets us up to a speed that's fast enough that we can just barely peak our apoaps above space, that's perfect. That's all I need. That's it. That's literally my goal. I'm not expecting anything more than that. That's still gonna be hard as fuck, but I'm not expecting anything anything more than that. I'm not trying to go to orbit. I'm not trying. Yeah, that's just not possible for me. Let's see here. How would I want to do this? I guess we'd probably want them out as far as we physically could. Let's say the plate is... This is the center. Oh, it's not going to let me do that. Let me run a pin. Let me see. Approximately how far out is this? 2 inches. So I don't want about a 4-inch paddle. It looks like that'd be good. Apparently you can't set off rocket motors in vacuum by themselves. You'll need to build a tiny overpressure vessel around them. Yep, I know, Timber Bunny. Believe it or not, we're not going to be lighting those rockets in space. We're not going to be in a vacuum yet. We should, cough, cough, hope, quote, everything else. We should have enough oxygen stilled where it will ignite, because we're basically going until the jet engine no longer works vertically, which should be way before the flight altitude record of like 85,000 feet, and I think that's the SR-72, SR-71, whatever the fuck that is, the Blackbird, or Black Hawk, whatever the fuck it's called. I'm pretty sure we're only going to get to like 30,000, 40,000 feet maximum with this jet engine, and then we would kick on our solid rocket boosters, and I hope that there's still enough oxygen at that level for that to work, but I'm ignorant. So I have no idea. This is where I'm going to have a lot of testing. I'm going to have to do a lot more research. Thankfully, we're not going to be launching a rocket anytime soon. Let's grab y'all. How do I want to do this? It won't let me look from that side. It will on that side, though. So that's 4.5. Oh, I don't like that. That's driving me crazy. I know what I'm gonna do. Okay, let's get out of this group. Just out of the group by 1. Now, can I use this as an actual measurement tool? I still can't. I'm just double checking. Let's make our plate. How do I want this thing to look? Probably... shit. Square. Right here. Rectangle. Works just fine. Let's do something like so. Make it out by maybe 1/4 of an inch. That thing's way too large. Bring that down. What is the size in general? The size is 0.25. Let's bring it down by 1/8, so it's smaller. And then let's put that curve on here. This actually is going to be interesting to see if I can curve it perpendicular to that face. It's not going to... Oop, there we go. Nope, not going to work that way. I need my half circle, please. And it is freaking out. It doesn't like me doing it. holding shift, but it doesn't want to do it. Okay, I'm gonna have to just manually come out from this then. In this line, but let's go another, that was already a quarter, so let's go to half inch. That way I can click here, and then on this line and make sure it's centered. That's what I wanted. Now let's make this bigger by a 1/8 of an inch. I believe I have that set too. Thank you very much. Let's get that circle going. Right in this. Do I want to have it further out or more in the center? Is that going to give me enough? Yeah, I should still be able to control it. I'm going to have to figure out... What is that in the upper right? It's the grasshopper. Inch. Let's run this through. I don't know if this is going to work the way I want it to, but we're going to definitely test it. Is there a line running through that? Of course there is. All good. Now I have that bracket set up. I feel like it's still a little bit too big, but it's fine. Let's move that over to where it is exactly in the center of this thing, like so, and then move it over 2 inches, I believe. That's not gonna work. 1.75. Still not gonna work. 1.5. Good enough. 1.75 really wouldn't work? I will. I think I'll do 1.75. All bueno. Now let's copy these things. Go over here. If it's 1.75, that would be what, 3.5, 3.5. That looks good enough for me. Now let's double click on all of these. And rotate. Actually, I could have done this from the bottom. It's just a pain in the butt. Well, that's always fun. It won't let me find the middle. Okay, well, let's use the middle of this. Really, it doesn't matter as long as it's still just the middle. Why you be bitch? Why you be bitch? There we go. Red, and it didn't want to constrain to the line for some reason. Let's rotate that. And let's do the same thing again. Actually, I could make this easier on myself. There we go. Rotate one last time. All bueno, constrain to green and red. Now let's 90 degree those one, or 180 degree those. Just like so. Now, this giant thing. I could explode the group right now. You notice how when I click on them, all those disappear because they're not actually connected to it. And what I could do is take this one and explode the group and then reconnect it to everything at the bottom. But I don't know if I want to do that just yet or not. Let's take these two and let's move them up again so that they're not connected. Let me grab this, let me explode it. It's not what I wanted to do. Let me explode it and then make group. Now all of those are in the same object and I didn't have to worry about editing it manually. It's a bear! Run! Wait, what? But yeah, Timber Bunny, thank you for bringing that up. I do know about the You can't run rocket motor in the vacuumous space. You need to have some form of back pressure due to a nose cone, good job, a nozzle or something like that. You have to be able to have back pressure to keep that ignition going. And I am aware of that. It's going to be interesting to say the least. Let's do our paddles next then. Alright, so we're still in that group. Yeah, let's just do the paddles next. How am I going to want to do this, though? At their base, I'm going to want them to be almost the exact same size as that. So I'm going to want them to be... how big? I can't see because fucking Windows Update's in the way. Okay. Half an inch. Let's build those paddles outside the area then, because I don't necessarily need them in there. Let's go like 0.5 and then 0.5. That's 0.25. That should be a perfect half circle. And now I want to angle those things down. Grab the topmost point and go straight down for... how big do I want these things to be? Probably 3 inches should be good. 2 inches maybe? We can always change it later. Yeah, I'll go for 3. We'll hit that. Like so, and then make sure to have a nice little marker there so I can put my hole. 1/16. I think that's still accurate. Yes. All done, and now how big it has to be. Fuck those lines. That's where my OCD comes in. They don't need to be there. I could have used a guide. Alright, now let's get this bigger. How long does it have to be? The last one was 3.5, right? 3.5. Those... I feel like those are too big. Oh, and they're not angled properly. I need to angle them in. I forgot about that. Crapper. Let me see if I can do that easily without having a problem. Let me grab this. Fuck. I'm gonna have to put that line back. Alright, and then delete the hole there. Alright, now let me grab this whole thing. Let me rotate. Let me try to find the center of this hole. Though it's not going to like me doing this. There we go. Automatically did it wrong. Damn it. It's supposed to be this way. Okay, good. Now, let's see if I can bring this in. I can. Okay, so I'm going to want to bring that in by probably 10 to 15 degrees. I'll say 15 degrees, and we'll see what it... No, I'll say 10 degrees. That just seems a little bit too much. Let's do the other side, too. Oh, crap. I'm going to have to put the line there again. The line's just so that it separates the top from the bottom, because we don't want it to be angling the whole thing in. We only want it to angle this bottom portion of this. Let's grab rotate again. Like so. And then 10 degrees. Soften smooth. That looks good to me. Though for some reason it... There we go, soften coplanar. I was wondering why it was acting weird. That looks good. Let's take this and make it as a group, because this will be its fin. This is awesome. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I thought this was going to be a boring as hell stream, if I'm being honest. Okay, so how am I going to get this to rotate in? I'll probably just rotate it by 45 degrees. Oops. It doesn't really matter which way I have it rotated. Let's just do 45 degrees. And now let's see if I can get this thing to actually connect to the right place. We're going to want to move it from here, like so, and then place it right there. Oh, it's going to have to be smaller. I didn't even realize that. I'm an idiot. That, or I'm going to have to push those out further. Which one would I prefer to do? I think I might just want to make them smaller, because if I... Let me exit that. Because the way it's set up right now, it'd be literally pushing against it, and that's going to cause a problem. I can't go in and out. I need it either this to be thinner, or I need these to be longer. And I think I'm going to go with this being thinner. Okay, so let's Control Z. Let's see if I can just do this easily with a scale function rather than actually rebuilding it, because fuck a whole bunch of rebuilding this thing. Right now, how big is this width-wise? Crap, I can't do it. I'm gonna have to rebuild it. Alright, that's fine. It didn't take long to build in the first place, so let's get rid of this. What a pain. That was totally my bad, too, because I started off with the wrong measurement. And instead of using a 1/2 inch, maybe I should go for... I'll say 3/8. That should give me about a 1/16 inch of... No, that's not going to be enough either. Damn! How am I going to want to do this? I think I'm going to have a problem with... oops. With these being too close in. Eight viewers stable, so there's something. Well, cool. I appreciate everyone being here. I mean, it is a slow as fuck stream, and I apologize for that. Let's see, how would I want to make this better? I could always make these longer. I could just go in and grab pretty much the top parts and just extend them. But I feel like that wouldn't be a good option. I feel like those holes almost need to be moved. And if I move those holes, it'd be... I know how I want the thrust vectoring plates to be. I just don't know exactly how I'm going to model them in here, because it's a very confined space. And at the size that I have them now, I would be able to put the plates there, but I wouldn't be able to have them push in. Because those, brackets don't allow that. 3/8 inch is still relatively, I think I'll just try a 3/8 inch, and we'll see if it looks right, or if it's an epic fail or not. I hope we can get like 5 to 10 degrees of gimbal out of this, but I don't know. At this point, I don't think I'd be able to. It's looking like might be able to get 5, but that'd be a stretch. Okay, so let me get out of this. Let me rebuild the plate. Grab here. 3/8. And then what would this be? 3/16? Yes. And then I'll have to bring that down by approximately... They might be stronger if you joined them all the way to the corner. Oh, you mean pushing them all the way into there? Or what? Because I'm forced to have them in the position where they're at due to the way it prints. I've already answered that question multiple times, Weekend, and so did other people. Oh, let's see here. I think I used 2.5 on this, or I can't even remember. 2.5. Yeah, I think I used 2.5. That looks approximate. Let's toss those on because I'll need them. Toss this on. Let's see if I can get that 1/8" hole in here. We'll just see what this looks like. Worst case scenario, it doesn't work. The good thing about SketchUp is you can literally put the model there and then start using the rotate tool to see if you can rotate it 10 degrees of gimbal. So I'll literally be able to test it before even printing it. 1/16, because for some reason my brain thought that was supposed to be 1/8, which had been a 1/4" hole. It's entirely inaccurate. Let's get rid of those, leave those lines because I learned that I need them last time. Let's take a lease, 3.5, and then and I agree that would have made them stronger, Timber Bunny, but I'm kind of limited to what I can do here. Okay, so let's re-angle these plates. The reason I have to do this on the bottom is because I don't want them to accidentally come in contact with each other, which I don't think will happen, but hey. Grab that. I've already got it grabbed. I think it was 10 degrees that I angled that in. Go on this side. Oh, that's interesting. That's very interesting. I don't know why I had to do that, but it's okay. Very strange. I'll put the line back into the center. Sometimes I do some weird things with Google SketchUp, but that's okay. As long as it works, I don't really care that much. Select this one last time, rotate it in. It is Google SketchUp. $10 degrees. Now let's grab all of this and soften smooth edges, soften coplanar so I don't have to worry about it. And we'll see how that looks. Theoretically, I'm still going to have some form of attachment on this that we can actually hook a rod up to and be able to move it back and forth, but for the moment, let's make a group. I'm happy with the way this has turned out. I need to rotate it. I have a feeling it's not going to want to rotate properly. Damn you. I'll do it this way. Aha! 45 degrees. I'll force you to walk. This. Wait, did that rotate in the wrong direction? No, okay, good. Just weird positioning. Grab the top. And see if I can get this to line up relatively well. Oh, I'm gonna have to adjust the holes. Crap. Can I see it in here? I can indeed. Interesting. It's the same size hole, but it doesn't match up. Weird. Not quite sure how that's happening. Must be whenever I angled it in. That's fine. Oh yeah, it is the angle. It's just the perspective. That's still an 1/8" hole. It's just angled. Okay, good. Well, then that's lined up approximately. Does this thing work then? Is it? Yes, we do have space. That's what I want. How far can I get it to angle in? Yes, we can get 10 degrees of gimbal off of this. That's what I want. This is going to be our thrust vectoring plates, where they can come in And it looks like I can almost get 15 degrees of gimbal off this. Good. So we can just do basic amounts of thrust vectoring. I may have to push these internally. I think I'm going to do that. If we flip these to internal rather than external, then we'll be able to have a lot more movement. We'll still be able to pull them back, I believe, up to 10 to 15 degrees. Yeah, because, like, we could do that, and that's not a problem. We want to be able to push them in. So I think we want to flip these the exact opposite. We'd want these brackets here to be on the inside rather than the outside. I wonder if I can do that without it causing severe problems. This is going to be interesting, to say the least. Because I already exploded the object and put them over here, so it's not going to like me doing this. Let me move that down and let me copy it. And what I'll do is just... yeah. See if maybe we can turn that into a group on its own. And I can put that wherever I want it to be, and we can explode it later. Now, if I delete this stuff, like I just start going through here and deleting it all, does it get really mad at me? Or does it just work? It gets really mad at me. Okay, so I'm gonna have to figure this out. Let me toss this here. Indeed, it gets mad at me. Okay. This is gonna be a bitch. Okay, how do I want to do this then? Flipping those internally is just gonna be very hard to do. I guess I'll just flip them. It's gonna take a time, but I'll just do it. We have to have them on the inside rather than the outside, because it's not going to be useful on the outside. About 5 minutes of looking, you realize your rocket looks like a ghetto Falcon Heavy. Nice. Shit. Let's rotate this loveliness. Like so. This, God, it's gonna be such a pain to do this. Movement. Oh, and I didn't even get it all. Look at that. Constrained to the line, you motherfucker. Why are you not... Why are you being such a bitch right now, SketchUp? Seriously. Oh my god. You fuck. There we go. Jesus.
I was afraid to love.
That was obnoxious. Alright, now we have that there. We're gonna have to duplicate it. Actually, before I do that, let me edit this and fix it, because it looks weird. I may have to go into the model and delete those inner pieces, but I'll figure that out. Bad place to grab that from. What a weird song that's playing. Can you cut the bars they're attached to and rotate them 180? I was thinking about that, but it would cause just as many glitches as doing it this way. At that point, ooh. Let me move this. I can move these even further now. I didn't realize that. If I move it another 1/4 inch, ½ inch. Interesting. I didn't know I could do that. Well, it's obvious that I could do it. I just didn't think about it. Now, assuming those aren't touching, let me zoom out here for a second. Assuming those aren't touching, we'll be able to copy them and rotate them around and use those. Nah, I think... Yeah, I pushed it. I'm gonna bring those back in 1/4 of an inch. It's close, but no. Let's bring those in back 1/4. 0.25, and then this one over here once again. I should get used to using the keyboard shortcuts again because it's been so long. 0.25. Good. Now let's rotate them. That should give me plenty of room. Like so. If I could get it to lock, there we go. And right like so. 90-degree them. Perfect. I'll take that. My little printer in the background, every now and then I can hear a It's so silent compared to my other printer. I keep forgetting that it's even running. Just every now and then you hear that nice little whoop. Get it constrained to that green line, toss it right there, and rotate once more. I'll have to delete those others, which is going to be a little bit of a pain in the ass on its own, but it's okay. Oh, what a bitch. Okay, let's go through and remove these brackets. And hopefully not have any problems with this. I can do this in one single move, right? I can indeedy. Oh my god, I clicked off the object and it freaked out. That looks like it's already filled in, so let's reverse that face. And that's exactly what I was just talking about, is I'm going to have to go internally on this model and remove those things, because we can't have internal faces like that. It has to be a completely hollow object, so it'll treat it like a giant solid object. And reverse face. Face. It's actually not taking nearly as long as I thought it was going to. I thought I was going to have to manually come in and edit each one of these pieces, but I'm able to... I am... There we go. It was not accepting my left click for some reason. That was a little fucked. You can rotate and move. You can rotate by using the middle mouse button, and then you can move by holding the middle mouse button and then holding left click. Yet for some reason, it just refuses to sometimes register that left click. And it usually ends up in me doing something like that. And I'm just end up baffled, like, where did I go? What happened? 3 more left, that's it. Like so, reverse face, or not. That actually doesn't have a face in it. So that was probably one of my original objects that I take that back. I was about to start talking out my ass. There we go. Not what I wanted. All bueno. Reverse face again. And right here. Last one. Thank goodness. You'll smoke for me? Funny enough, man, I do have a bowl of resin right next to me, and if I wanted to, I could totally smoke. You know what? Fuck it. I haven't smoked in 2 days, and honestly, I didn't care enough to smoke resin because it's... I have had so much stuff to do, and I've been so excited with the 3D printer and everything else, I just honestly didn't care. Like, I haven't been in a bad enough mood to really want the weed. But I do have that bowl of resin. If it's gonna probably taste like shit and everything else, but we'll see. It's cool. Ugh. Wonder if I have any like keef or something I could put on top of this. I probably do. I haven't got anything out of my grinder. You wish, still at work, still got an hour till you get off. That sucks, Tori. Was there anything I needed to do here? Not really. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. All of these are objects that I now have to explode. You know what? Until we know for sure those are going to stay there, let's not explode those objects. Because right now, you notice how they're independent groups rather than, like, I can click on lines and stuff like this. Each one of these are their own group. So I might just leave them exactly like they are right now instead of exploding them and connecting them to the other stuff. Because we might need to either make them longer or reposition them or anything like that. It entirely depends. So let me take that thrust plate again. Let me grab from the top right here. Perfect. Oh my god, zoom out. Please, Google SketchUp, don't do this. Okay. On the inside, that means... Yeah, this is much better. Okay, good. I'm gonna have to have some programming on this. Programming, good job. I put like an extra emphasis on that. I'm gonna have to program it to work. It's only gonna be able to gimbal backwards maybe 10 degrees, but it's able to gimbal forward a lot more than that. So this should actually work. I think this is gonna be what I use. How I'm actually going to move it with the motor yet, I'm not certain. I think I'll use a threaded bar of some form, and then have it push and pull that threaded bar, but I don't know exactly where I'm going to connect or how that's going to work. Let me see if I can explain what I'm talking about here. Rotate. Alright. So I can gimbal back about 10 degrees on this without having any problems. And if I have those motors set up where they know that, then I can gimbal back. But let's say I need to push the craft in a different direction. I can gimbal in upwards of probably 30 degrees, and that would give us a really good amount of thrust vectoring. The in is what we need, not the out. Because if we gimbal out like that, it's just going to allow air to pass through. That's 15 degrees, actually, that it could pull without starting to intersect. Damn. If it's like that, and the other one is fucking like that, it's going to still produce enough thrust vectoring that will move our craft. He put the emphasis on the wrong syllable, indeed. It happens occasionally when I'm distracted. I really do like that, though. I think that's what I'm gonna keep there. Let's, go over here. Toss one like so. Look at those thrust vectoring plates. Nice. And the reason we have those angles is because if... I'll explain it here in a second. Let me rotate. I can visually show you why we have those angles, rather than making it convoluted. Constrain to point, constrain to point. Rotate 90 degrees. Why does that not fit? Oh, they're not long enough. I forgot that I had to increase their size. Shit. Control Z, Control Z. Oh, I completely forgot about that. It's not going to be hard. I mean... In fact, I think I can just... scale it, maybe? Where's the scaling object? I haven't used scale in forever. It's one of these. Scale, there we go. One and 11. I feel like that was too far. No, that's it. Strange. Just looks odd. Oh well. All those parts will be sanded to fit perfectly, so we're not going to worry about that. Let's move it. I'm sorry, Buckwild, I will smoke, I swear. This is why I haven't cared that I've been out of weed the past few days, is because I've been so busy with all this other stuff that my brain didn't need it. I've not been bored, and that's usually why I smoke weed, is because I'm bored as hell, and I'm just trying to make money and also not spend money. And the best way of doing that is just to smoke weed and not really do anything. Am I holding? Oh, I'm holding the wrong key. I was like, why the fuck is that not working? Right here, pull them out, lock to the object, lock to that object, and rotate by, there we go, 90 degrees. Sweet. It's looking good. Well, I thank you very much. I wasn't expecting to make as much progress as we are tonight. Okay, so now I can explain. Now, imagine that we have 30 degrees of inwards gimbal. And we're only going to do it on the ones that are pointing in. So let's say... grab this object first, rotate it from this point, and let's rotate it in by... fuck that, by 30 degrees. And then let's rotate this one in by 30 degrees. Let's say we needed 30 degrees of gimbal on both of these on an XY direction for some reason. At that point, our rocket is needing some help, to say the least. Like, it has some flight problems. I can't grab that midpoint easily. That's obnoxious. Come on. Like so, there we go. Now, if I bring this in by 30 degrees, you notice? They're not touching. That's why I have an angle. I'm thinking about this stuff legitimately. I'm not just being an idiot here. Like, those would be able to still gimbal in and out by 30 degrees without pegging each other. And that's exactly what we need. Granted, there's going to be flex forces that I'm going to have to account for, so probably don't want to do a full 35 degree or 30 degrees of gimbal. But that gives us some serious hope. Like, this could legitimately do some thrust vectoring. Like, that 30 degrees of thrust vectoring is pretty significant. And I mean, they're not that big of paddles either. The landing legs on this thing are going to be massive. Well, that's cool. Well, thank you, Night Runner. Am I going to 3D print this and program a rocket computer thingy and have entire engines and shit on it? I am indeed. Or is it just for show? It's entirely going to go into space. It's going to be a real rocket. Well, sweet. So now that we've got this done, I think I'm going to take a little bit of a break here, and I'm going to try to scrape up a bowl of weed. Even though I don't really have weed necessarily, I do have a little bit of resin. So I figure, why not? We made some significant progress. We put all of the holes in here that we need so we can actually 3D print this base piece and build it. We have thrust vectoring plates now. We still need to put the motors, like how I'm gonna actually make these things gimbal, I'm not certain yet. I think what I'm gonna do is have a form of shaft. I'm just doing this so that I can quickly show you. So having some form of shaft like this, and it'll be hollow. Let's go in here, like so, and then do something like this, like so. So it's going to be a hollow shaft kind of like that, but it's going to be angled, where I would have this. Let's see if I can get this to work. Angled up like so. And we'd have those, or even just have them where they can move. We'll probably have a bracket here where they can rotate because they're going to have to be able to flex. We're going to have a bar running into that with a threaded bar attached to a motor, and it will be able to physically pull it in or push it out to create thrust vectoring. You almost want to see these files in SolidWorks because you could tell how heavy it is? It's all good, man. I can tell you how heavy these parts are. I can just import them into my Cura engine, and it'll tell me exactly how much plastic I'm going to need and everything. But that's my goal. I don't know exactly how we're going to do that yet. I just figure that's how that's going to happen. It's almost using kind of like a gate opener. If you've ever seen those automatic front gates that people have, usually those don't run off of hydraulics, but it looks like it's a hydraulic piston. Instead, that's just a piston that has a nut welded onto the piston, and it has a threaded bar going all the way through it. So as the motor spins, it pushes that nut further up or down that threaded bar, and it would make it look like the piston's extending. That's basically what I'm going to do with these vector plates. I just don't know exactly how yet. It does not look like I have any form of weed in my grinder. I was hoping I had something in here that I could scrape out, but it doesn't look like it. Do I have anything per chance in the actual mason jar of amazingness? No, I don't. Damn it. Well, in that case, I literally only have resin. So I'll try to smoke some resin with you, Buckwild, but other than that, this is literally it. I haven't even smoked this from 2 days ago whenever I scraped it up. Smom indeed. Oh, okay. I'm gonna take a swig of soda before I do this because it's probably not gonna taste too well. In fact, I'm probably gonna cough my face off. I can almost guarantee this isn't gonna taste good. Almost guarantee, I can guarantee it. It's resin. Resin never tastes good. Where's my lighter? I legitimately don't have a lighter on my desk anymore. That's interesting. I wonder where I put it. I'm gonna have to go grab a lighter. Okay. Give me a second. All good. Going. Just run into the kitchen real quick. You finally got some flour this week, or last week? Nice. I'm glad. Unfortunately, I don't have any. I kind of have the money for it. I'm definitely not going to RTX this year. I should just be blunt with myself. With this project, and the fact that Bitcoin's been going through the dumper for the past month, it's not bad. Like, I'm still making good money. I just don't make enough money to be like, I'm gonna spend $800 on rockets, and then another $800 on RTX, and then $1,900 in property taxes, and then fucking everything else that I owe right now. So I think I'm gonna call it off on RTX and then just buy weed either tomorrow or the next day. Yeah, a stoner who has forgotten where his lighter is? Oh, hey, Vey. Be right back. Oh, that didn't taste good. But I can tell you it worked. I can tell you it worked immediately. Good lord. Already feel hot and flushed. I'm hot and bothered. Oh. Alright, what do we want to work on next? Maybe we should keep working on how we're going to make these things actually connect. So let's Control Z real quick. Let me double click on this. I guess what we could do is find the center. That didn't work as well as I wanted it to. Still didn't work as well as I wanted it to. Do I want it to be at the bottom, or do I probably want it to be halfway through the... Huh, okay, so let's figure out how I want to do this. If I go up from the bottom by... I guess I'll just go with that center point. That should work. Now, how do I want to get this bracket to actually get set up? Huh. So you can't put a square on that. It's not... Oh, that's not a square. I probably can put a square on it then. Will it let me do this without having problems? It seems like it. It doesn't like it, but it'll do it. Okay, then let's do... an 1/8 inch by a 1/2 inch, maybe? Let's see how that looks. Mm, 1/8 inch by a 1/4 inch, I think. That should be good enough. Is this on the actual object? It is on the object. Fuck. That's my bad. I was kind of hoping not to have it on the object yet. I guess we don't... Okay, we don't need a double... Yeah, we do. I was thinking we don't necessarily need to have a double bracket for the thrust vectoring plates, but if I'm being honest, it'd probably be better. Yeah, if I'm already here and designing it, I might as well. Okay, first things first. Those guidelines are still there. Let's grab our square. It's not on that plate anymore. Son of a bitch. At this point, it might be physically easier to just use a single bracket, because it's not going to want me to do it unless I'm in the group. And if I'm... Maybe if I make that a group on its own, and then... Nope, still doesn't work. I was just double checking. Control Z that, because there's no point. I made a group inside of a group. Let's just put the square bracket there, then. Wow, it doesn't like that anymore. Interesting. Why is it now doing that? Weird. I'm trying to figure out how to get this thing to work. It doesn't seem to want to. I just had this working, so let's control... Nope, doesn't work. Control Y doesn't work until... How do I want to connect this plate? My first thought would be pretty simple. It's just attach basically two of these type of brackets up here. These type of brackets to it, but I don't know if we could physically do that.
Last night, visions of sunsets.
Freaking love this old music. It's really not that old, it's just way overplayed, so I stopped listening to it. Yes, then let me take this. Start running down. How big do I want this to be? 1/8 inch most likely. And then grab that point. Where's that perpendicular line? Interesting. Perpendicular to that works, but not straight up. Oh, it'd be a parallel line. Interesting. I'm trying to get that pink line to show up, but it's refusing. Unless I go over here, and that's not the same one. Okay, well this is gonna be a pain in the ass, because it's... You just had a bad thought? Ooh, what was it? Trust me, I've been full of them for the past week while I've been planning this stupid shit out. I still think I'm a crazy person. Like, I don't know if this is going to be a good idea or not, but we'll see. If thrust vectoring fins are on the inside, you may not be able to fit a pin or anything in there. Oh no, I'll be able to. I'm not going to have a rod go through the entire thing. I'll just use smaller pins. We could glue them from the outside rather than the inside, and they'd still work just fine. I have nearly 1.5 inches there. I can even figure it out here. We have about a 3/4 of an inch, which is still a big enough peg for me to use. I was thinking of only using 1/2 inch pegs, and that would end up having a 1/4 inch on the outside and 1/2 inch internally, so that'd be perfectly fine. Good thought, but yeah, we're good. How do I want to do this? It sucks that you can't just simply square into it. It really does. It let me do it that once, and it hasn't done it yet. Yes, good job. Hasn't done it yet. Immediately forgot what I was saying halfway through that sentence. Or just gave up on saying it, whichever. But that just drives me nuts, because I don't need it to be at that... I don't understand why it keeps doing that, either. Let's see if I can take something from this point, then, and run it directly to that midpoint, and see if I can use that as our square. No, it's fucking refusing. It will only go angled, and I don't understand, like that. I don't need it to be like that. It's driving me nuts. Okay, and if I exit off of this, it's because it's at an angle, I can't do it. Yep, if I'm not in the group, it's not gonna stay on the group. Trying to think here. Like, I could always go from this point, go down, let's say, how big of a hole do I want in the center of this? Probably just a 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, probably 1/2 inch. Let's go 1/2 inch so I always have extra space. So I'll put 0.25 this direction, because we'll have 0.25 the other direction as well. And see if I can get this gosh darn thing to work. That's not quarter line. It's not a 1/4 inch. God, this is starting to piss me off. Like, I do not get why it's being said. Thank Jesus! Don't know why it suddenly worked. Not gonna let it stop. Okay. 1/8. Google SketchUp, you obnoxious fuck. 8 by... Yeah. Now I feel like I have to move it in further. Damn it. Now I feel like, yep. Damn. That's too far. We need about a 1/4 inch thick. So 0.125. Now let's see if I can get this thing to... Thank God. Thank God it still works. Don't look at the gift horse in the mouth. Gift horse in the mouth. In the mouth. It's a Horla. I can't even remember what that is or where that's from. I think that's a Harry Potter thing. No, a Horla. Maybe that's like a Diablo thing. I can't remember. Do the exact same thing on the other side. Hopeful. No. Push pull. Will it let me push pull this object? Cannot push pull curved or smooth surfaces. Fuck. That's gonna be a bitch. Okay. Well then, let me take the rotation real quick. I'm gonna see if I can solve some of this bullshit that I'm going through. Up here, we'll take this, and then let's perfectly make it 90. It's gonna be harder to do than I thought. Grab guide, blue line, and now let's grab the rotate tool. If it's flat with an actual axis, I should be able... Damn it. Grab the whole object, please. Thank you, you fuck. Grab like so, grab it like so, and now point it down right there. Theoretically, that should be 90 degrees with an axis. It is. So now I can push this out. It doesn't want me to, but yeah, I can indeed. 0.25, I think. No. Do I want to do a half-inch tall? We'll do 0.25. Damn it! Still at an angle. Motherfucker. Means I'm gonna have to rotate the object as a whole 45 degrees. That's fine. I don't think that did it. Why did that? Hold on. Maybe I was just inaccurate there. That's not how that should work. That's what I thought. It's, yeah, weird. I must have misclicked. 0.25. Oh, Control Z, Control Z. Attach to the green axis, please. There we go. 0.25. Attach to the red axis, and does that make a square? That makes a square. Good. For some reason, now is being a bitch. Boom, boom, boom. Oh wait, what am I doing? This is not curved, so I can do this. Alrighty. Now, they probably don't even need to be rounded off, if I'm being honest. It's just me being picky. .125, and bring those inside. Awesome. Now rotate it with a circle. Nope, that's an arc, not a circle. .125. Fuck. 1/32. Don't know what the fuck that just did. What is it then? No, that's too small. 1/16. There we go. That's the name. For some reason, my brain was breaking. Push that back on through. This is taking longer than the vast majority of the other stuff did, I have to admit. Alright. Got one. And please let me do this. Everything's chosen. It is indeed. Oh, thank God. Such a bitch. Do I want a 1/2 inch hole in this? Yeah, let's just go for a 0.5 inch. Which actually ends up only being 1/4, I believe, after you take the 2 out. Points, it's 3/8. Good enough. I'll take it. Oh, it's... I see. That's a bitch. I'll have to redo that. Do you think the plastic will be strong enough on those? I think so, Buckwild. Because everything else is extremely strong so far. Like, everything I've printed is insanely strong. Like, the plastic I was messing with last night, even less than 1/4 of a millimeter thick, it was very hard to rip. You could rip it eventually after going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, but it was very difficult. The Horla is a French horror short story, according to Google. That's not helpful. I thought it was something. For some reason, my brain was messing with me. Move it. The whole point, so that we can get that to have a 1/4 inch on the inside, but... Oh. How big is this thing? Oh, it's 1/8 of an inch. That's why I'm making this stupid mistake. Okay, so I need to do 3/8 movement rather than a 1/2 inch movement. 3/8. Perfect. And now those should be in here. The only problem we're gonna have, let me hide this back wall real quick, is that right there. Let's make those... Shit. Let me intersect with context, and hopefully that'll let me do that. It will indeed. There we go. We now have that solved. Now let's view hidden geometry and put this thing back on. Sweet. Now that took a while, but it finally got it figured out. All right. Now we can actually rotate them. That was a pain, but I had to have the ability to actually control that. Like so. Oh, we're gonna have to rotate it to be back to normal. Rotate off of... I'll just go inside it, so I don't have to be looking at all random shit. From there, and... Oh, it's not the whole object. Motherfucker. There we go. Now grab the whole object. Well, that's a little bit of a pain in the ass. It must have been 5.5 degrees or something like that, because I legitimately can't figure out... Okay, I know how I'm going to do this. Let's grab this right here. Let's go out vertically. What? No. What? Stop it, you fuck. You fuck. Grab all of that. Out here, and now I have this clicked on here, and now let's rotate it up to there. Perfect. Now everything's back at its proper rotation. Indeedy. That's what I wanted. Technically, I'll have to print it in a special way anyways, but... Will the plastics withstand the heat from the engine? You're guessing it would? Tori, there's not gonna be any heat from the engine. If you're talking about the second stage solid fuel boosters, those aren't going to have thrust vectoring in this way. I'll actually move the booster. Like, I'll be moving the top of the booster and keep the bottom on a gimbal. You learn that hard angles are bad for breakage, so you round everything off and will make flow to reduce breakage. You also use ABS, which breaks easily. Me too. Well, right now I'm using PLA. I've used ABS though. But there's not going to be any heat for this. Like I keep saying, the jet engine, quote-unquote, that I'm going to be using, at first is going to be an electrically driven turbine. It's not even going to be classified as a jet engine. If that doesn't produce enough thrust, what we're going to do is inject some form of compressed gas. And because liquid gas is going to cool down your engine and make the jet engine not work, you have to preheat that gas and then inject it to get high pressure. That we'll figure out, but that's, I mean, preheating the gas is just preheating it to hopefully around normal temperature, or at least not freezing anymore. It's not ever going to be like 200, 300, 400 degrees. That's just not going to happen. Okay, so let's grab that whole part now. Delete guides. Edit, delete guides, because that's going to make that a lot smaller. Good. Rotate. It doesn't want to rotate for me. There we go. $90 degrees. 90 degrees, and last one. It keeps wanting me to go to that origin, which I'm sure would work, but I just don't want to use it. Sweet. We now have our thrust vectoring plates. Remember, I'm modeling it all out to look real in this, but then we're going to component all of these out, so I'm only going to be printing one of these pieces at a time. It's just a lot better that I have it modeled out and I know it works.
You are all the things that scare me.
I'm going to have to figure out a way to hold a motor off to that side, but I think I'm just going to screw and mount those motors rather than, like, drill holes through and screw and mount them to the plastic rather than trying to put a bracket on them, because I don't know where or what size motors those are going to be yet. I think those are good. I think our thrust vectoring plates are perfectly fine now. How's the printer doing? Pretty damn good. In fact, if you want to see an image of it, give me just a second. I'll see if I can do that. I should definitely be able to. Google Drive, wherever the fuck that is on my phone. Probably in the Google folder. Come on. Come on, you slow fucking thing. Upload. JPEG. That'll work. Sweet. Now I'll run over here real quick. Let me minimize this. This is from this morning, but I'll show you what the printer's doing right now. Go to Google Drive. I don't have a cable connected to my computer to grab from my phone, so I just had to throw it to my Google Drive real quick and then download the image. It doesn't take too long. It's already downloaded. I just now have to show you the image somehow. Let's say Grasshopper 1, properties, change those, downloads, and where's my printer image that I literally just downloaded? I bet it went to the rocket science folder because I'm an idiot. Gamers, thumbnails. Where's the rocket science? There it is. It's not there. Damn it, where did I just save that to? What? It is in downloads. Why the fuck you not showing me downloads? Come on, you stupid computer. There it is. I'm gonna have to... Damn, this image is big. Give me a second. It's a little bit too big. I have a very nice camera on my phone. There it is right now. Well, there it is from this morning. It's about 4 inches taller than that right now. It's creating the outside shell. You'll notice that it's not perfectly round, but that's not going to be that big a deal. I could actually increase the sides on the circles, but it has a rendering effect. Like, it makes it a lot harder to render all the circles in the SketchUp, so I don't really like doing that. And to be honest, it's close enough. It has 24 sides. That's not going to be a problem. So you say you want fins all the way around, you rotate in one copy and then type 3. Wait, what? And type ×3? Does that work, Night Runner? Ooh. I didn't know you could do that. Why, thank you. You're teaching me. I haven't used all of the hotkeys and shorts. I never knew that, but all the hotkeys and shortcuts and stuff like that, I have completely forgotten. I haven't used SketchUp in years. Specifically, 3 years. Okay, so we have all of that. What next do we want to do? We can start working on the landing leg stuff. That was a bad idea. I should have grabbed from that corner. There we go. Looking good? Why, thank you very much. Those will definitely be good enough for the thrust vectoring. Though this is where we start having the issue again. Oh, fuck, get rid of that tray. Has that been there the whole time? I hope not. Let's see here. What do we want to do? The motors I don't want to mess with. Like I said, I think I'm just going to make custom mounts for the motors and then drill holes into the sides. Let's say, like, you can see the dot, like drill hole here, and then just mount the motors with a different piece that I probably won't model until I actually have the motors. We might even be able to cheap out and get pre-threaded motors like what I want. I just don't know if that's going to be easy or not. Probably not. No idea what I want to tackle next. We could start tackling the landing legs, but if I'm being perfectly honest, those are going to take me a few hours, because the landing legs they've got set up, I've got the measurements for, the scaled measurements for, but I have a feeling they're not going to be that accurate. I'm going to have to custom make them to look right and also perform right. I don't know how I'm going to do that. I don't know how I'm going to have spring compression or anything else. This might actually be a good place to call it quits then for the night, because I'm going to keep doing this for the rest of the night, but if I'm being honest, I don't think we can achieve much more than that in this stream without it going like 4 to 6 hours long. I think this is a good stopping point. I really do. It has been a freaking fantastic stream, considering I wasn't even gonna stream today. I had no idea what I was gonna do. But we've got all of our brackets worked in, well, most of our brackets worked in. We've got our thrust vectoring plates worked in and modeled. We've got all of our holes set up now so that I can actually print this base and we can actually connect it all, which is obviously a nice bonus if we can actually use this. I think this is a perfect ending. Cool. Well, thank you all so much for being here. I apologize for it being a little bit of a slow one, but I had no idea what I want to do. I'll see if I can get some weed tomorrow. If I'm being blunt, I shouldn't, but I'll see if I can get some weed tomorrow, and then I guess we'll go back to playing some video games. I'll be doing this for a while. I'll be messing around with this probably for the rest of the week, and then I'll have a teaser video up maybe by Friday. I'm not certain. We might start the teaser video next week. It depends. It's just the time it's taking to print these things. Each one of these shell pieces, for instance, is going to take 2 days, 11 hours, and we need 6 of them. So this is going to take a long time for me to print all this shit out, and I don't know exactly where we're going to get from here, but I do know I've got all the Arduino stuff, I've got all the motor stuff. We should be able to get some pretty good progress going. Ha! Being blunt, indeed. You can't wait to see the progress? Well, sweet. It was fun to watch. Well, I appreciate that, considering I thought this was going to be the most boring stream I've ever done. Yeah, with that, I'm going to call it quits here. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow.